June 1915. The First World War is still young, but the rules of warfare are already changing faster than anyone can comprehend. On the ground, the Western Front has frozen into trenches, mud-filled scars stretching from the Channel to Switzerland. Millions of men are locked in place, fighting for yards of shattered earth. But above them, a new battlefield has opened. And from that battlefield comes a terror the public has never known before. The Zeppelin. To the British population, these vast German airships are not weapons of war. They are symbols of helplessness. Silent, drifting shapes that appear out of the darkness and rain bombs onto sleeping cities. Newspapers call them baby killers. Civilians hear engines long before they see anything, and by the time searchlights find the shape overhead, it is already too late. In early 1915, the Zeppelin is widely considered invincible. That belief is not propaganda. It is technical reality. British aircraft of the time are fragile machines, wooden frames wrapped in fabric, braced with wire, powered by engines barely stronger than those found in farm equipment. Most struggle to reach 80 miles per hour. Climbing above 6,000 feet takes time, patience, and luck. Pilots fly without oxygen, without parachutes, without radios. They are exposed to the cold and the wind, wrapped in leather coats and hope. The Zeppelin exists in another category entirely. Powered by multiple Maybach engines, the German airships can climb rapidly to 10 or 12,000 feet, far above the reach of most British fighters. They are enormous, some over 500 feet long, holding nearly 1 million cubic feet of hydrogen gas. Their crews are armed with machine guns mounted in gondolas beneath the hull and, critically, on top of the airship itself. Even if a British pilot manages to reach one, the question remains, how do you kill it? Standard rifle caliber bullets punch small holes through the fabric skin. Hydrogen leaks slowly, harmlessly. The Zeppelin does not explode. It simply returns home and patches the damage. British pilots discover this the hard way. Attack from below or the side does nothing. The Zeppelin floats on, untouched, untouchable. By mid-1915, the Royal Naval Air Service is desperate. They come to a brutal conclusion: there is only one vulnerable place on a Zeppelin. The top. But attacking from above requires a near-impossible sequence of events. A pilot must climb higher than the airship, something few aircraft can do, then approach from above while exposed to machine gun fire, and finally drop bombs by hand onto the skin. There is no bomb sight. No margin for error. No escape plan. It is, by any reasonable definition, a suicide mission. The man who volunteers for it is 23 years old. His name is Reginald Warford. Warford is not the image of a disciplined officer. He is aggressive, impulsive, and widely considered reckless. He dislikes authority. He bends rules. In peacetime, he would likely be grounded or dismissed. But war has a way of creating space for men who operate outside boundaries. On the night of June 7, 1915, Warford takes off alone into the darkness. His aircraft is a Marine Saulnier Type L, a French-designed parasol monoplane. Compared to the Zeppelin he is hunting, it is barely more than a powered glider. The wing is mounted high above the cockpit, supported by struts, giving him excellent downward visibility, critical for what he intends to do. The engine is an 80 horsepower Gnome Lambda rotary. This engine is both marvel and menace. Instead of pistons moving inside a stationary block, the entire engine spins around the crankshaft. The propeller is bolted directly to it, meaning hundreds of pounds of metal rotate as a single mass. The effect is gyroscopic. Turning the aircraft requires physical strength and constant correction. A right turn pitches the nose down violently. A left turn pitches it up. There is no throttle in the modern sense. The engine is either on at full power or off. To slow down, Warford must blip the ignition, cutting the spark for a second, then restoring it. Fuel and castor oil spray freely, coating the aircraft and pilot alike. He has no parachute. No radio. No navigation aids. His weapons consist of a carbine rifle and 6 20-pound Hales bombs mounted under the wing. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Warford crosses the Belgian coast. He navigates by moonlight reflecting off the sea. He is alone, deep behind enemy lines. Near Ostend, he sees it. A shape against the stars, long, thin, immense. The Zeppelin LZ-37. Commanded by Oberleutnant Otto van der Hagen, the airship is returning from a bombing raid on England. It is over 500 feet long, filled with hydrogen, cruising confidently at 7,000 feet and climbing. Warford is below it, at 6,000. The Zeppelin crew spots the tiny aircraft almost immediately. To them, it is an annoyance, not a threat. Van der Hagen orders an emergency climb. Ballast is dropped. Engines are pushed to maximum power. The LZ-37 begins to rise. Warford pulls back on the stick. The rotary engine screams. His aircraft climbs sluggishly, 200 feet per minute at best. Machine guns open fire from the gondolas. Tracer rounds flash past his wings. The Zeppelin even has a gunner stationed on top of the hull, the loneliest and most exposed position in the German military, perched above 1,000,000 cubic feet of explosive gas. Warford knows he cannot win a gunfight. He cannot outclimb them directly. So he turns away. To the Germans, it looks like retreat. In reality, it is patience. For 45 minutes, Warford circles in the darkness, forcing every ounce of altitude from his struggling engine. The cold intensifies. The air thins. His hands ache. His body is numb. Finally, at 11,000 feet, he looks down. The Zeppelin has leveled off. Warford is now above it. By perhaps 150 feet. He turns back toward the airship and cuts the ignition, blipping the engine into silence. He wants to glide in unseen. Below him, the LZ-37 looks unreal, a grey whale floating through the sky. The gunner on top sees him. Fire erupts again. Bullets tear through the fabric of Warford's wings. He ignores them. He lines up along the center line of the airship, flying directly over it from nose to tail. He has no bomb sight. No guidance system. Only instinct. As he crosses the midpoint of the Zeppelin, he pulls the release. 1 bomb. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. They fall. For a split second, nothing happens. The bombs punch through the outer fabric skin. Then the last bomb detonates. Hydrogen ignites instantly. The explosion is not a slow fireball. It is a shock wave. Flame races through the gas cells faster than sound itself. Warford, just 150 feet above, does not see an explosion. He sees the world turn red. The blast hits his aircraft like a hammer. His Moraine Saulnier is thrown violently upward, flipping upside down. The fabric on the wings scorches. The aircraft enters a spin. Then silence. The explosion has starved the engine of air. The rotary stalls. Warford is upside down, spinning in a dead aircraft, directly above a falling, burning Zeppelin. Below him, the LZ-37 becomes a pillar of fire, lighting the Belgian countryside for miles. It crashes into a convent in the Sint-Amansberg district of Ghent. 2 nuns are killed. Almost the entire Zeppelin crew dies. 1 man survives, thrown clear, falling through a roof and landing on a bed below. Warford fights the controls. Smoke surrounds him. He kicks the rudder, forces the aircraft level, stops the spin. He tries to restart the engine. Nothing. The fuel line has snapped. He is gliding, behind enemy lines, alone in the dark. He finds a field near a forest and lands hard. The aircraft bounces, but the landing gear holds. Silence returns. Warford knows German troops are coming. The explosion was visible for miles. Standard procedure is clear: destroy the aircraft and escape on foot. Warford ignores it. He wants to save the plane. Using a flashlight shielded by his hand, he inspects the engine. The fuel line is broken at the joint. He has no tools. No spare parts. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a cigarette holder. Using wire, he splints the fuel line together. It takes 35 minutes. 35 minutes of listening for engines, dogs, voices. Finally, he believes it will hold. Now comes another problem. The rotary engine has no starter. To start it, the propeller must be swung by hand. He is alone. He chocks the wheels with stones, sets the mixture, and moves to the front of the aircraft. He heaves the propeller. Sputter. Silence. Again. Sputter. Silence. He hears dogs barking. Third attempt. The engine catches. It roars to life. Warford scrambles into the cockpit. The aircraft shakes against the stones. He guns the engine, jumps the chocks, and takes off into the mist just as German headlights break through the trees. He flies west by instinct. Exhausted. Dizzy from fuel fumes. He cannot find his airfield. He lands at Cap Gris-Nez. He finds a telephone. "Sir," he says, "I've destroyed a Zeppelin." The news spreads instantly. Within 36 hours, Warford is awarded the Victoria Cross, the fastest approval of the decoration in the war. King George V sends a personal telegram. France awards him the Legion of Honor. He becomes a global hero. 10 days later, on June 17, 1915, Warford is in Paris. He takes a journalist up for a joyride in a Farman biplane. He flies it aggressively. Too aggressively. The wings fail. The aircraft breaks apart in midair. Warford is thrown clear. He is not wearing a seatbelt. He dies on the way to the hospital. He held the Victoria Cross for less than 2 weeks. But his impact was permanent. He proved the Zeppelin could be killed. He shattered the myth of invincibility. He forced the Germans to fly higher, bomb inaccurately, and lose their psychological weapon. Reginald Warford did not just destroy a machine. He destroyed fear itself.